Really good.
It feels easy.
Right.
I don't know, it just feels like you could roll like one-handed putts with this thing and it's not really going to move offline or anything like that.
Got a bit of that sledgehammer sort of feel where you can put in less effort and the putter head sort of swings itself.
Yeah.
This, for most people, will work really, really nicely. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So delighted to have a brand new brand in the store today, Michael.
Yeah, little Sacks Parente, something we don't carry yet in the demo matrix, but in the new year we'll definitely have it.
Yeah, we've had these samples in now for a little while and had a chance to roll a few. This is one of the lines of putters that we haven't carried, but our partners in the US, Club Champion in the US, they have carried these for a number of years. So when I've been down at their stores in and around various parts of the US, I have gravitated towards these. Towards some of the maybe less conventional looking models. Always interested in kind of what's going on with that, because there is a pretty cool technology story with this.
Yeah, that, you know, they called their ultra low balance point, super lightweight shaft, super lightweight grip, and then you've got a head at 365 to 370. So not crazy heavy, but for the weight of the shaft and weight of the grip, you're obviously going to feel a difference, and you get more of that pendulum effect.
Yeah, it's very unique. I mean, obviously putter shafts, range and weight, normally we find them north of 100 grams. Here we have a 39 gram shaft, we have a 30 gram grip. So in terms of the balance point on the shaft, it's very, very much right above the hosel.
Yeah.
There. So normally we would be balancing that up there. So, you know, that's a significant difference. But ultimately, what matters is what does that do?
Yeah.
What does it offer you guys? What does it offer the player? So I think for me, when I'm looking at this as a design, I'm looking at a putter head that is very heavy, and we've got multiple kind of examples we can use and explain to you guys, so hopefully you understand. Maybe driver heads. When we put the mass towards the toe, what is that doing? It's actually slowing the rate of rotation. So if we have in sort of motion, we have this sort of heavier head weight in transition, we are actually going to deliver this handle a little bit more forward as a result. So not only do you have forward CG and a high moment of inertia with this head, we're actually going to deliver it into a much more optimized shaft forward position.
Yeah.
One of the things we fight in putter fits and have done for forever, Mikey, when we measure in Quintig, is that when the putter starts to lean back and we deliver too much dynamic loft, we get too much launch, too much backspin, speed control becomes a real issue. So I really like this, the design philosophy with this, and I actually think it will suit a lot of, maybe if your putting stroke is not quite as sort of technically sound. I think something that leads you into a better stroke is always a good thing. There's 4 models right now. This is the 99 series. We've got some other mallets. We've got one other blade that's very similar to this, has a grooves in the face and some heel toe weighting for higher MOI. But again, this is just a very simple, very sort of uncomplicated design.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shape we're all familiar with, and excited to see how it works.
Definitely. All right, let's roll a few. All right, Mikey boy, how does it look? How does it feel? Initial impressions?
I mean, traditional look of a plumber's neck, which is nice. I like it. It looks larger.
It does look a little bit larger, doesn't it? Maybe like just Newport 2 Plus, that type of shape.
And just maybe that's the lines. Definitely feels lighter. I mean, it doesn't feel like whippy or anything like that, but you could feel the difference compared to, you know, what I'm playing right now. It's definitely different.
Okay. And you use a lighter putter shaft in yours right now. You've got 85 gram Acra Sync.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep, I do use a lighter.
Did you remember that?
That's a good one. I have to find where that putter is.
In my office, this is exactly where it is. Yeah, so, you know, this shouldn't be that foreign of a feel for you.
No.
Albeit 30 grams or so is extremely light. You give him anything. Give him a broomstick, he's making them.
Not this weekend.
Very nice. Just a whole load of green. Okay. Lovely delivery. I mean, it's not an issue. Obviously, Quintig, as we know, guys, is directing us to what's good and what's bad through the traffic light system. Everything in Mikey's putter there is really, really good. Love the rate of rotation down at 16 degrees. So in this nice kind of low to medium rate of rotation. Face angle was a hair closed, but So 0.63 of a degree, but we offset that with a 0.25 strike in the toe. So if we want to have a look at ball roll, pretty good. Right, we're making it up to 14 feet, maybe even as far as 15 to 17, depending on the greens we're on. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, let's hit a few more before we kind of start to ask you too much about how it feels, etc. Okay, a couple more. Very good. Very good. Yeah, so one of the things for Mikey there that I saw in that last putt, if we kind of want to quickly go back, anytime I see someone in Quintic that has a path that's getting a little bit too out to in and a toe strike, those two are compound errors. So if you have the putter or the ball addressed too much toe side, the likelihood is you'll arc it and you'll have too aggressive of an arc. If we get you into, the reason I asked you to have it in the heel there is I can actually create a slightly more reduced rate of rotation and a much more neutral path. And then from that standpoint, I can really stabilize the club face. I mean, that's close to perfect. Okay. So where you align the ball, where you position the ball, will actually play a big part in how much rotation and what the path is in your putting stroke.
Okay.
Very, very high in forward rotation, Mikey.
Yeah.
I mean, too high. We don't often say
a
that.
little too much?
Too much, yeah. If we go into sort of the slow-mo of it here. All right, so we're following the sort of green line. I've always used the marker of I want approximately 90 degrees of rotation of the golf ball within 9 inches. Okay, so I'm looking for something to that degree. So if we look at where do we start that? Okay, so it's just back of vertical at the point of impact. Let's take it to impact. Okay, so we're rolling now. So we probably hit 90 degrees right about there.
Yeah.
Just after 6. So that's telling me visually that we have a lot of forward spin. We've done 180 degrees pretty much by there. Tons of top spin. But the thing is,
what's the downside of too much forward spin?
Downhill putts are a nightmare.
Right, yeah.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
So trying to put the brakes, speed control, it becomes a huge problem.
Right, okay.
So this is the sort of design of this putter, though we spoke about it. The position of the handle relative to the head, creating forward shaft lean, is kind of the way this putter has been designed to try to create that forward roll. And not to kind of, it's very seldom I'll ever say a nice thing to you, but you've got a good stroke, right? So
can we get a time marker on that one, please? That's a historical moment.
That should be Christmas present.
Oh, cheers.
So you need to wrap it.
Is that my Christmas bonus?
Good compliment. So yeah, you stroke it really, really nicely. So if we go into there, we're looking actually, 75 is the upper end of what we want. I'd like you to be closer to between 30 and 50.
Yeah.
On a putt of this length. Yeah,
that's a lot.
You're charging on. Couple more. Excellent. Really good. To you, that feels probably like you're actually holding the blade off a little bit. That's what I want you to feel. Yeah, those numbers are robotic, to be honest.
Yeah, it's better.
Really, really good. So you can kind of see that as you launch it a little bit higher, you retain a little bit more dynamic loft. You've got less forward spin. That's actually really quite nice.
Yeah.
Those are good. If you wanted to play something and take advantage of the higher MOI, if you wanted to, capitalize on the low balance, I would actually get you into something that offsets a little bit of the forward center mass. Now, if you flip this putter around and you see, it has two weights in the front. So even though it is a mallet design, and most mallets design pulls the CG rearward CG is what tilts the dynamic loft up because we have all this mass in the back. they're just giving you the MOI on a sort of, you know, wider area, so it increases stability on toe and heel strikes, Mikey. But actually, all the mass is up at the front.
And there was a mallet you played a couple of years ago, or well, we tried them all, and it had forward CG.
FCG,
yeah,
tailwind
and it was
FCG.
a great putter. I mean,
was,
Morikawa used it for a while. It rolled really nicely.
It's the right idea.
Okay.
This for most people will work really, really nicely.
Yeah. No,
let's just add a fractional off just to see. All right, young maestro, we have a touch of extra loft on there now.
Okay, lie angle's the same.
Same. You will always find lie angle is a funny one when it comes to putters. Largely, people will find a way to see what they like to see address. I could move that flatter, right? But your hands are just going to get lower and lower and off the forearm plane. I don't love to see that. So I would rather, to be honest, I'd rather you didn't go any more sort of handle down. That's why I hate when people go too flat with putters.
Yeah.
I think it takes the shaft too far off the forearm plane, and then it starts adding too much face rotation. Very nice. A little more, a little bit of launch there. You could say it would seem. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nicer.
Yeah. And that forward roll's better too.
Yeah, forward roll's better. Face rotation is really, really good. So, guys, here's a kind of little bit of quintic gold right here. Why do we want a low rate of rotation, right? So Mikey has 4 degrees of rotation, which has changed ever since at the start, before we made the change to your ball position, you had 4 times as much, maybe even slightly higher. Why do we want to change that? If we go into the club data here, and we look at, this is impact, right? 0 inches. This is 3 inches before impact. This is 3 inches after. If we have on this putt of 12 feet, the face angle 1 degree open or 1 degree closed, we will still make that putt. You could actually have hit that ball anywhere inside that 6-inch measured area
and still make it.
And you would have still made it.
Yeah.
So like the amount of time that club face is square is, I mean, you couldn't set the robot up to do it any better than that. And now you're actually starting to get the strike in a good spot. You don't have the you don't have the toe strike as a variable anymore. So beforehand, you were actually getting the face angle a little bit closed and offsetting it with the toe strike, and they were kind of matching up quite nicely. I would far rather see you actually deliver the face of fraction open with the center strike, because that adds a little more launch, and it takes away some spin.
Okay,
that's a really nice combo.
It's maybe because the head is, like, you can feel the weight down below. It feels easy.
Right.
I don't know. It just feels like you could roll like one-handed putts with this thing, and it's not really going to move offline or anything like that. You've got
a bit of that sledgehammer sort of feel where you can put in less effort, and the putter head sort of swings itself.
Yeah.
I think more people than not in a putter studio or a putter fit with us ask for more weight.
Right.
Very seldom do they ever say, "Oh no, this putter feels too heavy for me." That never really happens.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a believer of heavier putter. I feel like it could take some mistakes out of play. That's what I've just thought forever. It's probably wrong. But yeah, for some reason, this just I don't know, suits my eye. Feels easy.
It's pretty good. So obviously there's multiple models. There's obviously a similar. I mean, this is.
It was one of the originals.
Yeah. I mean, that one there, obviously with some kind of heel and toe weight, up the MOI a little bit.
Pretty hard to beat
everyone
this.
can get on board with that.
Pretty hard to beat this. I mean, you have the tech of the lightweight shaft and grip. The head feels great. It's milled. Yeah. It's a shape that we're all familiar with. To me, it looks a little bit larger, heel to toe wise, and I think it's more shaping of this stuff. But yeah, it's
pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pretty good putter.
It actually comes in quite significantly less in price. So that one comes in at $350 US.
Okay, wow, good deal.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, now I'm excited to get a couple of these models in each studio, because I think you try it and people will be like, at first they might not love the feel, but then once you kind of get used to it, it feels great.
Well, I think as well, it's this is a kind of, I guess, a little bit of an internal offline conversation, but it's for our fitters as well to understand the properties of it. Like, what is in the matrix of putters that we offer, why would you put this in the hands of someone? You've just demonstrated it.
Yeah.
It gives you much more forward rotation. If somebody's struggling maybe with a little bit too much sort of release of the loft and add too much dynamic loft, this is a great place to go. I mean, I've had to go up into 3.5 degrees of loft for you there in order to try and create the right launch conditions. You're normally in and around 2, somewhere about that. So, you know, I think within the offerings, I think that's a great, great
Yeah, that model's cool with a little bit of carbon in the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just, there's some smart stuff. We've been seeing this for years in putter design, moving that mass towards the front, Mikey. So by putting in some sort of, I don't know if that, I doubt that actually is carbon, looks like carbon effect, but it certainly is thinned carbon steel. And then you get these weights out in the toe and the heel and, you know, moves that CG right up to the face, which makes a huge difference.
Quality feeling product, quality looking product.
Yeah,
I don't really think if you're purchasing one of these, you're not going to be kicking yourself going, you know, it's no gimmick by any means. Yeah, I like all of it. It's very, very good. And they've got some cool stuff coming out in the new year. With some different, you know, shafts, and you'll be able to actually just purchase their shafts as well, which will be pretty cool. So yeah,
turn every putter into a low balance putter.
Honestly,
quite a cool idea.
But yeah, good product, really, really good.
Definitely. Okay, guys, this for us in our matrix or kind of within our line of offerings, this is, you know, tradesman, somebody going into a job and having a bag of tools. This is our tool within our toolbox. This is just another tool in our toolbox. So for the array of problems that players have with their putting method, I think this is going to give us a really nice opportunity not to have to compromise the loft and just, you know, turn the loft down to 0 degrees and just to offset somebody's poor technique. I think if you can play with center of gravity, kind of like we've been talking about with drivers and woods and that type of thing for a number of years now, if we can start to do that with putters, I think we can start to optimize the roll, the performance. We've saw in other new releases that other companies have made recently, speed control is one of the highest sort of ways to reduce those 3 putts. And you know, if we reduce the 3 putts, we reduce your scores and handicap. Yeah,
the technology in putters lately has been pretty good. And like you said, if we can make the putter or the player a better putter with really changing their grip or anything like that.
Exactly.
I mean, sign me up.
But we're all for better mechanics, but we're all for better performance as well. Good stuff. All right, guys, let us know in the comments if you've tried Sacks Parente. You know, again, we'll try and kind of hammer home this because I think there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of explanations. I don't think it's for people who are hearing a lot of these terms for the first time, you know, it will be tough to sink in. So we will sort of make sure that we don't just describe or test these putters once. You know, this is important that I think we revisit this and maybe we test this against something that doesn't have forward CG
show the difference.
Doesn't have that balance point, maybe a higher balance point. So I think that would be important for you guys to see. It would be cool for us to demonstrate it. Stay tuned for more. We'll see you again soon.